from the frozen tundra of the effing Worldwide Media Studios. Roman Reigns breaks kayfabe. The AEW mystery signee was announced and shown on Wednesday. We talk Super Bowl. And as your morning DJs on the Morning Zoo, we will go ahead and play all the top 10 greatest hits from the 70s, 80s, and beyond on just another effing podcast. Hit the music. Coming to you live from the effing Worldwide Media Studios, located in parts unknown. It's just another effing podcast. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of Just Another Effing Podcast. I am Show Nuff, the Shogun of Beantown, but you can call me the JFB, James from Boston.
And I am the patron saint of professional wrestling. I'm Fruit Cat's dad.
Yeah.
I'm Canada Dry, damn it. Drink it up.
Yeah, you bubbly son of a bitch. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good.
Let's make a prediction here. Hold on. Let's get this Super Bowl action out of the way early.
I'm okay with that.
Who do you like?
Well, you know, the Pats aren't in it. I'm a Patriots fan, but my father-in-law and my brother-in-law are huge Bengals fans, so I made a promise. If the Bengals make it to the Super Bowl, I will root for the Bengals. So I'm going Bengals 21, Los Angeles Rams 16. It's going to be a close one.
You know what? I'm going to do the exact opposite of you. And I'm going, I don't mind the Bengals. You know, you got to cheer for them because they haven't really done shit forever. But I don't think they're going to pull it off.
Yeah.
I think it's the LA Rams 21, and we'll give the Bengals 60.
Okay. There you go. You have it. You have it live from the horse's mouths. The gangsters of love. I'll bet it'll be a high scoring game than that. I don't know, Dally. I mean, you never know. I mean, it could be an absolute blowout, and but at least you know we get to see Dr. Dre and Eminem for the halftime show, and
as always, we welcome all our live viewers and all the commenters and participators of the show. Welcome and thank you so much for being part of the show.
Yeah, for those who join us live, for those who watch later on during the day, hell, for the people who download and listen to our audio on Mondays, we welcome you so graciously. Thank you. As a Ravens fan, I will never root for the Bengals. Joseph Graham, it pains my heart to have to root, but I made a solemn promise to my father-in-law and my brother-in-law that I would root for the Bengals. And who day? That's their chance.
Who day thing. That's good.
Who day rocks? Who day rocks?
Which might bring us to our news segment.
You know what? Before we get to the main event, let's do a little news. All right, the news. Matt Cardona is now the new NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. That 10 pounds of gold is around his waist.
So let's just break this down for a second. So he gets fired from WWE.
Yeah.
He shows up in AEW. Now, if AEW would have signed him, he wouldn't be where he is right now.
Absolutely.
So the fact that he went to Game Changer Wrestling and then won that title and then did whatever he did on Impact. And now he's the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion with that 10 pound of gold. And we will be seeing him versus Nick Aldis at the Crockett Cup.
Oh, and that's going to be beautiful, man. I love the fact that they're bringing back the Crockett Cup. I mean, I'm a huge NWA, and I loved watching the Crockett Cup when it was on TV. But Matt Cardona, man, it's awesome to see Matt Cardona draped with the 10 pounds of gold. So our mystery signee for AEW was debuted on Dynamite. Keith Lee brought the house down, and even Jay White showed up on Dynamite and then showed up again on Rampage in the ring. Forbidden Door open for New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is great, but I remember Canada Dry during our surprise Wednesday. You said Keith Lee would not get the pop. That pop was huge for Keith Lee. What are your thoughts on Keith Lee showing up?
My only problem is it's Tony Khan. He oversells things.
Yes,
like I think it's great that Keith Lee is all elite.
Yeah,
but like he seems to promise the world, and then it's like it's only can be a letdown.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting somebody with a little more, with slightly bigger, but I was happy to see Keith. I mean, that guy can dominate a division, yeah. I mean, everybody popped for the entrance. Joseph Graham just mentioned, of course, that the throw when Keith Lee literally threw him from one corner to the other. In the air that pop was absolutely.
I love this
amazing.
comment by George Penning.
Legend has it that Isaiah is still in the air flying. He is still, yeah. Last time we checked, he is orbiting around the Earth, and he's over the Middle East right now as we speak. So I'm just hoping at some point that he'll land in time for Dynamite next Wednesday. New Day is not called the New Day anymore. During the last couple of weeks, they've been billed as and announced as their singles names. I don't know if it's because Xavier Woods is not there and he's going through an injury right now, or what the deal is, but New Day is only being announced as Big E and Kofi Kingston. So yeah, I don't know about that. That doesn't make any sense.
Do you think that they're going to realize this is dumb and go with New Day again?
I think either they're going to go back to New Day, or when Xavier Woods comes back, Big E goes back to Raw and goes back to singles competition. Because I like Big E as a singles competitor. I really do. And I would love to see him.
Maybe they've realized that New Day's possibly worn out its run here, because it's been around for a while, right?
Yeah, it's been around for a lot of years. They started the New Day gimmick right around the time when Moses decided to retire from professional wrestling. So
Moses
we're talking eons. We're talking eons. Right when Moses wrestled his last match,
with the 10 Commandments, and he's gonna rock the world.
The winner leaves Jerusalem. WWE is holding tryouts during WrestleMania weekend, especially with the NIL. With WWE paying college athletes, it would be interesting to see who they might grab for tryouts during the WrestleMania weekend. So Los Lotharios is getting major push, and they were given kind of a Rick Rude style gimmick. They walked to the ring, and then they stopped and they kissed a girl who obviously was planted there because she was not there throughout most of SmackDown. I'm digging the Los Lotharios. I like their style. I like the heelish aspect of them. What are your thoughts on Los Lotharios?
I haven't seen much of them, but what I've seen, I like. They look like a killer team.
Yeah, it's good to get the guys want to be us and women want to be with us aspect of it. I like that. AQA is now officially all elite. That is right. She signed her contract hours after her first match in AEW. She is a former NXT star. I liked her. I like her gimmick. I like her look. I think she needs a little bit more time in the ring. She looked a little rusty, but she's one of Booker T's girls.
So. I don't think so. I think the problem is having Jade Cargill's style doesn't match up with everyone.
That is true. Yeah.
And I think had it been someone else, I think she could have had a banger match.
I would love to see Nyla versus the Native Beast versus Jade Cargill, to see two big girls go at it and just wrestle, because I think that's the problem with Jade Cargill is once you get past Nyla, there's not many people that are her size and her strength, you know. So
what do you think? What do you think about Statlander challenging for that TBS title?
I like it. I like Statlander.
I think she could match up with the Power a little bit.
I think she could, yeah. And she's got some height on her too. She's not a small girl. I mean, she's not a small woman. She's got some size to her. So
I always call her the Barry Windham of
yeah. She's a workhorse. She is absolutely a workhorse. Speaking of Jade Cargill, Vince is very high supposedly on Jade Cargill, even after her failed WWE tryout when they questioned would she be able to wrestle being a single mom. So now apparently they're very high on Jade Cargill. We know she's got at least a year on her contract. Do you see her going? Then you see her going to WWE? You see her long term in AEW?
Oh, they wanted her so bad, but she wasn't willing to, because she's a mother. She wasn't willing to give up. They wanted her to give up sponsorships and pretty much sell her soul to WWE, and she wasn't willing to do that. Yeah. So Tony Khan comes in like a knight in shining armor and says all the right words, and she's all elite. I think she's going to be all elite for a while.
Now, talk about breaking kayfabe. Roman Reigns actually broke kayfabe in a dark match after SmackDown and gave a shout out to Jarvis JJ Robertson. You might remember him as one of the winners of the Warrior Award. He was in attendance. Roman Reigns broke kayfabe for a little bit and gave him a shout out. And then afterwards, the Usos gave him a shirt and he got to wear the championship belt, the universal belt around his shoulder. They took pictures. So say what you will about WWE, the current product, whatever the case is, they know how to make it special for fans, and especially for fans that are known, you know, who have won the Warrior Award. I thought it was pretty cool. I like seeing Roman Reigns break kayfabe every once in a while.
Well, I actually like Roman as his natural self. He's a lovable guy, really.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Joe's just a normal guy.
When he came back from cancer, and everyone was just loving that.
Yeah,
because he was booed for like crazy before that. They just loved him being the natural self.
Yeah, I like him. I like him both as a heel and a face. I'm really digging his vibe as a heel, especially. Killer Kross is coming back to wrestling, not to AEW. He is going to MLW. He was scheduled to appear at their big promotion next Saturday.
But he's not signed with them though, right?
I think he's on a work as you go. I don't think he's signed to a major contract.
You give that guy the world title in MLW and he's gonna make noise.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, don't get me wrong, Alex Hammerstone is one hell of a champion for MLW. I love Alex Hammerstone, but Killer Kross would be even better. Absolutely. Dynamite now, last week, 2 weeks ago, they were under 1 million viewers with the CM Punk MJF match, which kind of puzzled both of us. But Dynamite is now back over 1 million viewers. They were the number one show in their time slot because of the big championship match between Hangman Page and the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer. It's good to see them back in 1 million. I think they're going to bounce in between.
It's amazing to me. Week after week after week, they put out banger matches. I don't know how they pull it off. It's pretty amazing.
I'm going to say Pixie Dust and Bitcoin.
Canada Dry.
Despite the rumors, Tony Khan is not running for Congress, ladies and gentlemen. Dirt Sheet Radio, not Dirt Sheet, Fightful Select, I think, posted it. That they said that they saw filings for Tony Khan possibly running for Congress in Florida. Tony went immediately to Twitter and said, "I'm not running for Congress. I did not file any papers."
When would he even have the time to do that?
He owns a football team. He owns a wrestling promotion. You know, I mean, he's got other businesses.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm sure he wants to spend time with his wife and kids. That's just my guess.
I don't think he's married.
Okay, then he wants to spend time with the bitches. And last one, NBC Peacock is going to be footing the bill for WrestleMania ads during the Super Bowl. Vince has said many times that it's a waste of money to spend on advertising for the Super Bowl after they did it one year. You're looking at $5-10 million now per ad to run during the Super Bowl, which, is seen by 50 million plus people around the world. But NBC Universal said, whoa, we'll take care of that. We'll foot the bill. So we should see multiple ads.
Is the Super Bowl on NBC?
It is on NBC, yeah.
So it's not going to cost them any money. It's pretty much just not giving it to someone else, right?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? All I know is they're advertising themselves. Yeah, it's not the game. I mean, they got the game, damn it. I'm sure since it's running on their channel, they could go ahead and just slide in a couple of ads.
But of course, they are not accepting money from someone else to fill that spot. So it is costing them.
Yeah, it is possible. Yeah. So that's our news. This week we decided to let you, the viewers and the fans, pick to pick our topic for the week. And we might do this again because it was a lot of fun. We had Bret Hart, we had wrestling themes, we had a couple others, but the two that were neck and neck were top 10 Bret Hart matches and wrestling themes. And we called it pretty early, but yeah, wrestling themes won. I was really shocked. I was keeping my fingers crossed for Bret the Hitman Hart as I'm wearing my Hitman Hart shirt. But yeah, so wrestling themes, wrestling songs. So we're going to play DJ and play the greatest hits. This is our top 10.
Break it down.
So let's get to the main event, damn it.
Gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Speaking of which, man, that UFC fight last night was balls out. Probably one of the best UFC fights I've seen in the last 5 years.
Who won? Tell us about it.
The middleweight champion, I can't pronounce his name, but he's from Africa. But man, he kicked the living shit out of the former champ. I mean, it was the second one. The second time they fought, and he beat the hell out of him, and he looked so good. I'm not usually big in the UFC. I'm not paying the $80, but a friend of mine bought it and couldn't watch it live, so he said, "Hey, just sign in with my stuff, and you can watch it." And I did, and it was awesome. It was incredible.
So regarding our music, Joseph Graham says, "I see a lot of controversy coming, possibly, but we went pretty mainstream on this list."
Yeah, this was when we came up. The top 10 list wasn't that hard to come up with. The ranking of it is where it was a real issue, because you have so many iconic songs. How do you really rank one over the other?
Behind the scenes, what we do, we just do a draft list and take turns. It's easy.
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's what we do. There's a lot of backstabbing. There's a lot of back office politics. There's money in envelopes being slid back and forth. But overall, I think we came up with a good list. I think the rankings, but yeah, Joseph Graham, you're probably right. There's some controversy. Somebody's going to get pissed off. So let's go with our number 10. You know what? No introduction. I'm just going to play. What the hell? What do you give to a wrestler that is a cross between Waylon Mercy and Jake the Snake Roberts? A guy that cuts the most ominous promos the game has ever seen. You give him a theme as creepy as his gimmick, and that's exactly what Mark Crozer delivered. Moody, trippy, and nightmarish. Every word of the lyric spells nightmare fuel. A perfect song for an amazing talent. Let's talk about Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, what can you say? The guy came out to that theme. It's that slow sort of grunge feel song.
Mm-hmm.
Just matches him absolutely. Whoever came up with this, I don't know if it's Vince, probably not. But whoever came up with this, great job matching it to his character.
Yeah, I mean, from what I can tell, I think what happened was Bray heard the song from Mark Crozer and asked Vince if he could use it, and I guess they paid the money to play it. It's moody. I mean, it really is, and it works with his character. His character was always, even as the Fiend, methodical. You know, walking to the fire, everybody's cell phones are lit up, and he walks slowly. He's got that lantern, and it just fits the mood with that song, because that song is really trippy. But when you read the lyrics are pretty weird. I mean, they're pretty out there, which kind of fits that character. So, but yeah, that's our number 10. That is Bray Wyatt, Catching Flies from Mark Crozer. Let's go to our number 9. You have to have a great theme for what would go down as one of the greatest factions ever. And that's exactly what WCW did by letting Jimmy Hart sample some of the greatest guitar riffs from one of the greatest guitar players of all time, Jimi Hendrix. Hart sampled Stars at Play with Laughing Sam's Dice as the main chord. Hey Joe is part of the bridge, and Before Stone Free on the second riff, ending with Highway Chili. It's weird because I'm a huge Hendrix fan. And when the NWO song first came out, I was like, this sounds super familiar. At this time, I'm playing a lot of Hendrix. So I'm like, this sounds so familiar. And yet I'm playing these exact same songs. Let's talk about the NWO, the New World Order.
Well, they had different like remixes that they did with this song to fit like Macho Man or whoever, right? They just added like, oh yeah, in there or whatever.
Yeah.
But this song, this entrance, it's very basic, and it's very like cost cutting for WCW coming up with their own music. But Jericho said that they had just a shitload of things that they owned, and everyone had to kind of go from that. But I love it. It's a great theme. And what can you say? It's one of the iconic themes of wrestling.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's something about watching the initial group, and we could talk about the bloated carcass of a whale that is the NWO in the later years, where there was like 95 people in it. But when you had the original four, when you had Hogan, you had Hall, you had Nash, you had the Giant, and you had Ted DiBiase as their manager, kind of walking down, and Hogan strumming the belt and pretending he was playing the guitar. It's iconic, and it was only fitting that they picked one of probably the three greatest guitar players of all time, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, was somebody that was not around for a lot of years. He does have a lot of albums out. He has some of the most iconic rock songs of all time. So it was really good to hear them. It was really good to hear that they sampled, and especially Jimmy Hart. I mean, he's brilliant as a musician. So
Jimmy Hart has come up with some of the greatest ring entrances of all time. He's a genius.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go to our number 8. It's somebody who's very familiar with our podcast. We talk about him pretty much weekly. Let's go with our number 8.
I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for what's right, fight for your life.
yeah, brother.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, brother. Real American, brother. Excuse me. Can't do that voice for very long. It kills me. Before he was embroiled in racist commentary, science denial, and leaked sex tapes, Hulk Hogan ruled wrestling in the 1980s. Often he faced foes from foreign lands, so he needed a kick-ass American rules song, and Rick Derringer delivered with Real American. The man who sang and wrote Hang On Sloopy and Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo nailed this overly patriotic song about how much America can kick ass. Canada Dry. I know you wanted this on the list. Let's talk about Hulk Hogan.
I'm not gonna say anything bad about Hulk today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say anything bad. But this song just screams our childhood.
Yeah.
I would say it's even bigger than Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Because this song never did anything wrong. This song and it's got such a great beat to it. Like, I remember being a kid just walking down the street singing this song, and I'm Canadian.
That is something when you can make a Canadian start singing Real American. My God, you got a hit on your hand. I think what's great about this song is Hulk Hogan was not the first person to walk down the aisle to this song. Actually, it was Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham who came down to this song first, and then they left and went somewhere else, and Hulk Hogan took it over and decided to take it over when they went to the NWA. Paul Orndorff has come down to this. Several wrestlers have come down to this, but it's so synonymous and so ingrained with Hulk Hogan. I
remember a friend of mine and me, we were talking about this song when I was a kid. And they said, well, what if Outback Jack came out to this, but Australian? I am a real Australian. Shave my beard.
Wow. That'd be pretty damn awesome. If there was like a different version, like the Mountie can come down to I'm a real Canadian, maple syrup on every bend. I love it. All right, let's get to our number 7, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm not hiding out in Michigan.
Oh, Dally. All right, let's get to our number 7. This one is absolutely iconic. So we'll just go ahead and play it. When he first hit the zeitgeist,
give me chills.
Yeah, no. When he first hit the zeitgeist of professional wrestling, stepping on the stage of the WWE, Macho Man was a big freaking deal, and a big freaking deal needs all of the pomp and circumstance of someone who some people do still consider to be the number one guy in WWE. It was only fitting that the same song you hear when you walk for high school or college is the same song that Macho walked down the aisle before kicking some major ass. That is Pomp and Circumstance. You've heard it if you graduated high school. You heard it when you graduated college. There's just something about that song that's just amazing. Let's wax poetic about Macho Man. Oh, yeah.
You ain't going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes.
Oh, man. Macho Man.
See, I love that Jay Lethal is using this. In AEW. I kind of want him to do the Macho Man voice a little bit more than he's doing so far, but Macho Man, that song, it's almost as iconic as Hulk Hogan's. It just like sends chills down your spine when you hear it, and I'm so glad that we get to hear that on AEW TV. As often as Jay Lethal shows up.
Yeah. It's funny. A few years ago, my brother-in-law's son was graduating from high school, and they played Pomp and Circumstance, and all I could, in my head, I just wanted to blurt out, "Oh yeah," but I didn't. I kept quiet because it's not about me; it's about The Graduate. But it's a song that no matter.
That would have been iconic if you did that.
I would jump from the top of and then drop the elbow. It's an iconic song. You've heard it a million times at graduations. You've seen it in the movies, but it's like the 20th Century Fox anthem. Anytime when I was a kid, I associated that song with Star Wars. And so anytime I heard the 20th Century March, I would run downstairs or I'd flip the channel back on and be like, oh, it's going to be Star Wars.
It's a marketing scam, right? It's plants it in your brain.
Yeah.
And they did that with Daniel Bryan too. That's a popular sort of song that you now associate with Bryan Danielson.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's get to our number 6. He's on my Mount Rushmore as one of the 4 greatest wrestlers of all time.
Probably not mine.
Woo! What song do you give to a wrestler that some consider the greatest wrestler of all time? You give him one of the greatest opening songs from one of the greatest cinematic films of all time. Flair would walk down the ramp to the opening score of a 2001 In a Space Odyssey. Alex North, who's the music supervisor for that movie, would have no idea how much the song Also Sprach Zarathustra would play in the pop culture zeitgeist, let alone become synonymous with Ric Flair to wrestling fans. It is so ingrained in pop culture for film fans. It's also now ingrained in pop culture for wrestling fans that if you hear 2001 A Space Odyssey's opening theme, you automatically assume you're either going to see kind of a way to make fun of the movie, like parody it, or you're going to see Ric Flair start strutting down the aisle. So let's talk about Ric Flair.
I think it would be great if you had a Space Odyssey with Ric Flair floating in space. Yeah, Ric Flair. I'm not a huge fan of this guy, but just like Hulk Hogan, this music, it just speaks to you that something and someone important is coming down that ring.
Yeah,
you know it's a champion, just like the Macho Man music. You know that this guy's a big deal. Yeah,
and it's funny because to give a little kind of like a background on the movie, before Stanley Kubrick was going to show the movie to the heads of Universal, he told Alex North, I want you to grab and buy every single possible classical piece of music you could possibly buy. Let's get it all. Let's get it licensed, and then we'll figure out where it's going to go. And it just so happens that 2001 Space Odyssey opening logo and the opening is that song. It was a pure coincidence, and it's so iconic film-wise. But yeah, you're right. I mean, so you hear that song.
W or NWA have to pay for that each time, or what was the deal?
So the song itself is actually an open. It's open to use. It's free play. It's free use. Okay. So because it was created in the 1800s, so it's definitely fair use. So they didn't really. I mean, back in that day, they weren't paying for music rights. They were just playing it and hope they didn't get sued. So, all right, let's get to our number 5. This is our top 5. I think this one will go down as one of the greats of all time. When Steve Austin took on the Stone Cold persona, leaving that lame and crappy ringmaster gimmick, he needed something that cued the fans to pop because they knew that business was about to pick up, and Jim Johnston nailed it. From the glass break to the heavy guitar riffs, it was a song perfect for a rough around the edge gimmick of Stone Cold Steve Austin. You knew as soon as that song hit that business was about to pick up. Someone was going to get their ass kicked, and it was going to be unmerciful. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. Let's talk about Stone Cold.
Okay, so I think this music would not work for very many wrestlers.
Yeah.
It works for Stone Cold.
Yeah.
What makes this iconic is that glass breaking. And without that glass breaking, I don't think this song it quite makes it. But that glass breaking makes it. The most important thing for a wrestler is to have that beginning just start out perfectly. And I think with this, it's the best part of the song.
Absolutely.
Dallas said the song gives me PTSD. It's a bit. You know, you got to picture Stone Cold drinking his beer and you know going up to the ropes and putting his hands in the air. You know, without Stone Cold, this song isn't much. I got to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think currently or even in the past I don't think there's another wrestler who could have carried that song. Exactly. It's so perfectly in tune with Stone Cold. It's heavy. Fiona says, "Get that trash off."
Thank you so much, Alex, for being here and giving us your salty take. And we'll be sure to move away from Stone Cold as soon as we can.
Yeah, we're gonna just talk periodically about Stone Cold throughout the. But yeah, I mean, it's so iconic. It's so there, and it encapsulates everything about Steve Austin. It's rough around the edges. It's just different, and it's strong, and it's hard, and it's gritty, and that's what Stone Cold was. So, yeah, absolutely. Now, Dallas is asking who's the AFW version of Stone Cold. I mean, I got a shaved head, a goatee, and both my ears are pierced, so I can easily say I might look like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I even have a pair of Doc Martens that say so. So,
I think JFB is the closest thing we got to a Stone Cold.
Hell yeah. I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. Drink my beer, damn it.
JFB, and that's the bottom line.
Oh, yeah. I'm taking that. That's going to be my new promo. All right, let's go to number 4. I think it's only fitting that this man is possibly going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. It is, of course, our number 4. Like any wrestler that has wrestled for 20 plus years, you'll go through gimmick changes, and with that, you'll get different music. Be it Kid Rock's American Badass or Limp Bizkit's Rollin' Air Raid, nothing beat it than the Dead Man Mortician and the Funeral March, Rest in Peace. Jim Johnston created an entrance theme that matched the mysterious and paranormal Mortician. The second you hear the gong and you hear the thunder, the hairs rise on your arm. It did on mine. I get chills every time I hear this because I know that, you know, a generic funeral march is what it is, but there's nothing generic about the character that walks down the ramp to that song. Let's talk about The Undertaker.
What I noticed, first time probably ever, just now, is when we played that song, it was a light bell to start.
Yeah. It's
just this little, you're like, oh, the Undertaker's coming. And it's brilliant to have, instead of going gong, gong. And I think that's a nice little tweak they did there. it sends chills down your spine. Even if you're a wrestler and you know it's kayfabe.
Yeah.
I've heard wrestlers talk about when that music hits, when they're facing the Undertaker, they just get chills.
I mean, music has to set a mood for the character, and the American Badass and Roland. I mean, that was fine and dandy because it worked for the Attitude Era version of the Undertaker, but nothing beats that rest in peace. And Jim Johnston really, I mean, that guy nails. I mean, he created the soundtrack of my childhood and my growing up in my 20s with the music that he came up with. I mean, he's just, I mean, Jimmy Hart's great, but Jim Johnston was a god, So let's get to our number 3.
Just on a side note, before we do that,
yeah.
What I think Vince McMahon was probably the best at, was surrounding himself with excellent people.
Yeah.
And they just did all the things well. And guess who gets the credit?
Vince
McMahon. I mean, he's great at that.
Oh yeah, I mean the cue of a smart and intelligent leader is a person who surrounds himself around with competent people. He may get credit, but at the same time, like, big fans will know Jim Johnston. They know who Jimmy Hart is. We know Pat Patterson behind the scenes. We know all these people that have come and that Vince has surrounded himself with. And I agree. You're right. One of the comments was Jim Johnston not in the Hall of Fame. I completely agree. I think Jim Johnston should have a place in the WWE Hall of Fame because his work is iconic. I mean, it's still used to this day.
Ever go in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
He put himself in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When we open up the Effing Wrestling Hall of Fame, he'll be an honorary selection, Jim Johnston. Maybe he'll write a theme song for us. So, all right, let's get to our number 3 real quick. He's a staple on AEW. I don't think we have to say much more.
You are innocence personified, and I will try.
Outside of his time in small promotions and overseas, Jericho had 2 iconic theme songs. Break the Walls Down still gets me amped, but it's his AEW theme that brings the fans to their feet and sing along. Judas by his band Fozzy just oozes from rock riffs of the past. Let's talk about Judas and Chris Jericho.
When I first heard this song, I was blown away at how catchy it was.
Yeah.
And he had the short hair and he's rocking out in the video. And he's got those clowns running around on fire in the background.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That song, for COVID, what they did was, remember you had to wash your hands? You got to sing Judas as you're washing your hands to make sure your hands are clean.
Yeah.
You are beautiful on the inside. And what AEW has done with this song.
Yeah.
Even when he's at the biggest heel in the world, Jericho's coming down and everyone's singing his song.
Yeah.
And the first time that really happened was on the cruise.
Yeah.
And Jericho was just smiling from ear to ear. It was so cool.
Yeah. I mean, he sold over 50 million versions of that song on the record. He's got over 100 million views on YouTube for the music video. There's good reason. It's a great rock song. And it's funny because Fozzy started as an Aussie cover band. They were an Ozzy Osbourne cover band. Yeah, and named Fozzy, and they kind of broke away from being cover band to being a legitimate rock band, and I've never seen them live. It is a hope and dream that one day, if they come down near me, that I get a chance to go see them. I've heard they put on an amazing show. Who knows? Maybe if the pandemic slows down a little bit, I could talk my wife into letting me go on a cruise. Yeah, there's our magician from the UK. I would love to go on a cruise and just, because I heard they put on a great show. So I mean, I don't care if it's in the middle of a farm field. I'd go see it. It's that impressive. So
that version to hear that Graham's talking about, Joseph Graham, when he comes down to face John Moxley and the Mormon Tabernacle Choir is singing this. Oh,
yep. Yeah.
That was so amazing.
I mean, I think, it's great because Revolution, I think, is AEW's WrestleMania. So they should pull out all the stops. And it was really cool to see that choir sing Judas. I thought it was a great touch to an already iconic song, and again, I mean, like, for example, I have a nephew, my sister's kid. He's a huge AEW fan. He actually listens to our podcast. We had a karaoke night at my house one night, and he sang Judas, and I got up and started singing it with him, because how can you not? It's such a great song. So,
well, comparing the two songs, Break the Walls Down, you go, break the walls down.
Yeah.
I got to the what else is there? I don't even know.
I mean, it's lyrics, but it's jumbled up. You have to.
You can do the first part, and that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get to our number 2. This is 100% purely Canadian, baby. This is great. This is better than maple syrup. Our number 2. Literally from Jim Johnston's opening guitar riff to the drums and the rest of the licks, this theme song fits the excellence of execution to a T. A serious wrestler needs a serious theme, and this delivers. Fans worldwide know after the first second of this playing that they're in for a real wrestling match from a real shoot wrestler. Let's talk about Bret Hart. I got his shirt on. I love and adore Bret Hart.
Oh, man. My favorite thing about this song, this entrance, is that, and I talked about this earlier with Bray Windham, that opening riff is so important.
Yeah.
It says, this is Bret Hart coming, and everyone just jumps to their feet. And it's got that little medium part where it's but it's just so good.
Yeah.
It's a special place in my heart.
Yeah. I can tell you this. If I had to have a theme song play for any time I walked into a room or into a building, that's the song that's playing in my head is Bret the Hitman Hart is that theme song.
Whenever I leave the house wearing my leather jacket, I'm like,
yeah. I mean, like, somebody says something and I go like this and I go dun dun dun, because I mean, it's just so iconic of a song.
Dallas does not appreciate
the opening. Hurts my damn ears. Dally.
But let's see what Haney has to say.
Yeah, I mean,
that's true. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I could hear the song. I have a wrestling theme song playlist that's on my phone. Everything from Japan, Mexico, you name it, I have it on there. And Bret the Hitman Hart is one of the very few 80s, 90s WWE songs that I have on there. It's just that iconic, Owens is nothing to laugh at either. Owen has a great theme song as well. But back in the day when we Dally, my music would probably hurt your ears. Yeah, there's probably a good chance mine would too.
We did leave a lot off of here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a good chance we'll do a number two. You know, that's the great thing about top 10 lists is that because there are more than 10 songs, we can easily come back and revisit this and call it, you know, part due, the greatest themes. But yeah, I mean, it's a great freaking song. You know, it's not a toe tapper, but I had a friend years ago that got married, and as he was walking down the aisle before the bride, this played, and he had the Bret Hart sunglasses.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that is so cool.
Yeah, Dan Norton, who's a huge, he's a good friend. He's a video editor as well. He walked down the aisle. They both had belts made specifically for the wedding. She had I think she had the Diva belt. He had the World Heavyweight Championship belt with his name on it, with his stuff on the side plaque. So
I need some of those Bret Hart sunglasses.
They're out there. You got to look. You got to hunt and peck, but they're out there. But yeah, so let's get to our number one. It's weird because I know all of you out there in Twitter land, on YouTube, on Facebook, we're assuming that this was going to be the number one because we're both Bret Hart, you know, marks. But we picked something else. We threw a swerve.
Yeah, we threw you off. You all thought we were going to pick Bret.
Yeah, you were like Bret Hart number 2. What the hell's going on?
Yeah,
Here, there's a reason why. Here's number one. The real anti-hero, the best in the world, had some amazing themes. One of my favorites before this was Kill Switch Engages, but it wasn't until he returned after several months off, coming back to WWE with the belt he beat Cena with, and kickstarting off the summer of Punk, that we were given an amazing song from an equally awesome metal band, Living Color. Cult Personality was fitting to the straight edge hero to the masses, with the lyrics talking about bad leaders using media, propaganda, through lies and spectacles. Anytime this music hits, people pop. We got you on number one. Nobody was expecting this, but the Fire song from Kill Switch Engage, don't get me wrong, fantastic song, great song, but when that song started playing, the Cult of Personality, and I was like, who the hell is coming out to Cult of Personality? Because I'm a huge metalhead. I've been a metalhead pretty much my whole adult life. And I was like, who the hell is coming out to Living Color? And it was CM Punk with the belt. And I'm like, oh, shit. This is going to be freaking awesome. And he's so synonymous with that song. And Living Color is so synonymous with CM Punk. Let's talk about Punk. Wax poetic about Punk.
Well, I never heard of this song. Like, call me and I just didn't know about it. When I heard this song, I didn't know I had to look it up. I had to YouTube it. But I loved it the second I heard it.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, really rejuvenated that band.
Yeah.
In Living Color.
Yeah.
I never even heard of them before this. And it they're probably getting some good money off of this song. And they're getting royalty checks left and right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it was really great too because the WrestleMania in New York, Living Color was there live to play Punk in when he took on Taker. It's really cool. I got hooked on them pretty early. They opened for Anthrax one year. I'm a huge Anthrax metalhead. Love Anthrax. They're my favorite all-time metal band. And they opened, and this is right when Livid came out. This is their freshman album. and they played Cult of Personality, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna buy this tape. You know, at the time it was on tape, not CD, and I bought the tape, and I wore it out, and I bought another tape, and I wore that out, and then I finally bought the CD, and I still have the CD, and I love Living Color. You know,
so when CM Punk was coming to AEW, you saw on social media, you saw CM Punk following in Living Color. You saw Tony Khan following in Living Color. You saw them following each other. You're like, oh my goodness, he's coming to AEW. And we all marked out.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if Tony Khan at some point buys the song specifically for Punk. I don't know if they would sell it, but it wouldn't surprise me in the least. But yeah, I mean, that's our top. Yeah, that's our top 10, guys. I know there are songs. I as a metalhead, it pained me not to have Motorhead on here. Lemmy is God. Sandman. Yeah. There's a lot of great ones. So a part 2 will be coming down the pipe at some point down the line. But it was, you know, it's fun because these songs are iconic, and you can't hear them without thinking of a wrestler if you're a wrestling fan.
But what I think we nailed it more than any other top show we've ever done. Because we kept it pretty mainstream, and we didn't put Brett at the top, so we fooled y'all.
Yeah, we swerved you.
But I think our list was pretty solid.
Yeah, I loved it. Like I said, I mean, the picking the top 10 was not a problem. You know, when we were trying to come up with the ranking, that's kind of where it was like, you know, wow, we're making Macho Man number 7, and you know, somebody has to be 10. And somebody has to be 1, and there's got to be guys in the middle. And it was so hard.
You can make argument for anyone to be 1, right?
Oh yeah, easily. I mean, that's how iconic this music is. It's a playlist of your youth, of your adulthood. You know, it's turned you on to amazing bands. You know, I became a fan of Alter Bridge after hearing Metalingus, which is what Edge comes out to. You know, Alter Bridge does the theme song for The Miz. So, I mean, you know, it opens up a world of music to the fans of wrestling, which is really good. Me and Joe on the next committee. You know what? I'll tell you what, part 2, when we do that, you guys are invited to be on the show. You'll input in on the top 10.
Well, even if they don't want to be on the show, like even if Joe can't make it or Dallas can't make it, we'll let them help.
Yeah, we'll let you help. Yeah, because I'm sure they're going to shame us, and they're going to make us feel bad and try to make us feel guilty for leaving songs off. And I'll have you know that that doesn't bother me. I have no remorse.
The only problem with a part 2 is a part 2 is never as good as a part 1. So.
That is true, but there are exceptions. Godfather 2 is better than Godfather 1. Empire Strikes Back, way better than
Superman 2.
Superman 2.
Yeah.
Superman 2, the Donner cut. That's the key. Yes. The Donner cut is vastly superior.
Better than Superman 1. So.
Alien's better than Alien. I mean, there's exceptions to the rule, but there's a good chance we can make number 2 as good, maybe if not better, than the first one. So, you know, it's funny. We had 2 Hulk Hogan songs on here, but they were pretty low on the list, number 9 and number 8. Have you talked to Hulk Hogan? Was he upset that he was 8, that he was 9 and 8 and wasn't higher?
He was just happy that the NWO made the list. He was happy that his Real American song is so iconic, and that we were acknowledging that we had nothing negative to say about him on the show. You know, it was overall a positive week for Effen's relationship with Hulk Hogan. And he told me, you know what, brother, I'm coming on the show, but I don't know when. So because you said I don't know when, that's Effen Wrestling 321, Hulk Hogan 0, Canada Dry. Out.
This has been an Effen Worldwide Media production. You can find us on Twitter at All Effen Wrestling or at effing podcast. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/effing wrestling. After that, why don't you go ahead and throw a T on your back? You can find us on the Pro Wrestling Tee store at prowrestlingtees.com/effing wrestling. You can find all of this at our new website, effingwrestling.com. And as always, have a great